All right, we'll get ready to go live here. Good morning once again. We are about to start our sentences. We're starting a little early today. We have a couple of cases. We started at 10:30 rather than 11. One of them is from the Branch County Jail. And as soon as the attorneys log in, we will be ready to start. Good morning, Miss Bennett. Can you hear me? Miss Bennett, can you hear me? Well, you're going to need the help from, here we go. Working on it.
Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
All right. Good morning to you. Thank you to the jail staff for logging you in a timely manner. Your lawyer, Mr. George, isn't here yet. I'm going to put you in the waiting room, and we should be ready to go in just a short couple of minutes.
Yeah, if possible, am I able to speak with him prior to court?
Yes.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll put you in the waiting room. All right, we've got both defendants here. We don't have the prosecutor or the defense attorneys yet. Clear a few things out of here. Oh boy. Good morning, Deborah.
Hey, how are you?
Good. We've got Mr. Eichhorn in the waiting room. We've got Miss Bennett in the waiting room. And we're about to bring in Tim George.
Morning, Tim.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Good, thanks.
Good, beautiful day, great to be alive.
That's for sure.
Your client, Miss Bennett, is here. The Branch County Jail's offices have connected us. She'd like to have an opportunity to speak to you before we proceed to sentence.
Sure.
So I'll put you in a breakout room. The problem is, Monica, I'm not sure if you can get out of the breakout room once I put you into it. We've had some problems in correction facilities, so let's hope for the best.
Well, you could be present for it too. It's just I got a couple questions after
I'll
sentencing.
let you talk to him first.
Okay.
So,
I think Branch County uses a laptop, so
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
She was on top of it the last time, so. All right, today feels like Monday.
Very Monday-ish.
We got hit by that storm out in my neighborhood. A lot of people lost trees and a couple houses got smashed.
Really? That's too bad.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that bad until I drove to
On Saturday, it was just a little micro burst, apparently, just a few hundred yards from my house, but it didn't hit me, so keep my fingers crossed.
Your magnetic force field was working. Nice.
Hope so.
All right, well, I will wait and see when they come back.
Well, here's Jordan, so I think we
Oh,
should
okay.
let Mr. Eichhorn.
Yeah, I don't mind going early on his. I think he's set at 11, but
I think he said at 10:30.
is he? Oh, it was showing 11 on the
Let me
session
see.
docket.
10:30 is set for.
No problem.
So they all got it, and they're here at 10:30. Good morning,
Do I have to
Christine.
do something here?
Good morning.
No, Steve, you're fine. Just
Okay.
sit tight. I'm going to call your case. This is file 21824FY, People versus Stephen Wayne Eichhorn. Mr. Eichhorn was charged with malicious destruction of property over $1,000, but less than $20,000, which is a felony. The matter was reduced to a misdemeanor charge of malicious destruction of property over $200. Defendant pled to scratching a neighbor's car, keying it. I got an estimate from a body shop indicating that damage was in excess of $1,500. We are prepared to go to sentencing today. I understand Mr. Eichhorn has been working with CMH, which I'm very pleased to hear about. And we'll hear more about that. Ms. Bennett, we started another case, so I'll put you in the waiting room and we'll bring you in a minute, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Yancey, I guess we'll start with you. What would you like me to know here?
Well, Your Honor, Mr. Eichhorn does receive disability. He's had a traumatic.
I don't.
Oh, you're not. Well,
I don't. Okay.
you're getting.
No, I guess I do. Yeah. I'm sorry. I get so
No,
confused.
you're fine. You're
about
fine,
everything.
Steve. He does have a brain injury. He is actively participating with his CMH. Lisa from the jail called us when we were first appointed, and she actually worked with CMH so that we were able to get the PR bond for Steve. He's got stable housing. He does everything that he needs to do. He's got a phone. This is an incident where there was some confrontation between he and his neighbor. His neighbor actually did assault him. And Steve acted out, maybe not in the best decision to make in terms of that, but he indicates to me that he and the neighbor are getting along well now, and things have calmed down, and it's I know your judge was concerned about them living next to each other, but it seems that things have calmed down and they've patched it up, but it was a situation where Steve was being hit and he acted out. So Your Honor, I don't think this is a case that we need to have any kind of probation on at all by any means, because he's doing what he needs to do with CMH and they're an oversight for him.
All right, there is an issue of restitution. Deborah, what's your position on this?
Your Honor, Mr. Blakely was not able to be here today in person or via Zoom because he's working, but he did have contact with Marissa from our victim services. And he did confirm that he forgives Steve, that they've patched up their neighborly relationship. However, there is $1,507.72 that is needed to cover the repairs of the vehicle. He doesn't have insurance that covered that. So he is asking for the $1,507.72. As far as whether there's probation or not, I guess I'm not sure if Mr. Eichhorn was cooperating with CMH prior to this happening, or if this is just since it has happened. So with there being some restitution, I'm not sure his ability to pay immediately, maybe a short probation just to get, make sure that he continues with CMH and that he gets that restitution paid. But I don't think any further jail time up front or anything is necessary at this point. Thank you.
All
And Your
right,
Honor, I
so-
can say that he was receiving services prior to, and I didn't ask this earlier, but I would ask Your Honor to consider waiving the attorney fee based on the fact that he does receive disability.
Mr. Eichhorn, what would you like me to know?
Okay. He stated he thought I had PTSD, ADHD, and possibly bipolar. And I don't have PTSD and I'm not bipolar. I do have ADHD. And he said, right after that, he said, I asked him to go look for a shotgun in the woods, which I had lost. And I'm just confused about that. I don't know what he's talking about. There's a couple things like that. The brass knuckles. He said he came back and blamed it on me. Oh, no. No. Those are his. He came around the corner with them, ready to go. And I called him a bunch of nasty names, like I'll say wussy. And then you can take it from there and figure out what else I said. I yelled all that stuff at him, and then he flung him off in my yard, and I snatched him up a little later, and that's when I gave him to the cops. And, you know, even then, he grabbed my hair and slammed my head down to the deck. And this is the first and only time I punched him. I got up. Oh, it hurt when I ripped my head out of there. And then I hit him twice, and then he took off. I guess my hips are a little better. What's next? Oh, this is another thing. I didn't even step foot in the house. I was about to. I had been following him all the way from my house, or we live in the same home, but in my side of the duplex, I've been following him all the way over. I thought he knew I was walking in. It seemed pretty obvious. But as soon as I was just taking a step in, he turned around, grabbed me, and he hit me. And again, and he hit me 5 times. He says I hit him, but all I did is measure up twice. In case he hit one that really hurt me, I needed to defend myself, but it didn't really hurt me. You know, Judge Middleton, I came to church with Jane for a while at the Catholic church, but I'm Mennonite. And that we're non-resistant. So I just push away from fighting. And that's a big reason I keyed his car. I figured it's better to key a car than bust the guy up. And the, boy, I got too much papers here. Oh, here we go. The situation with the car. The thing is, I think I saw him doing this. I don't know. I can't say it. I did for sure. But all I did, because this is total BS, all I did, I keyed it roughly 1 foot spot on the driver's side door, the back driver's side door. That's all I did. And I think he went out there because they were new key marks. So they had to be recent, but I know they weren't new. And I think he went all over that. Keyed it, make it look like I did. I don't know, but it sure seems like it because they were fresh.
All right, we're gonna have to stop.
Okay,
what you said was enough for MDOP, but we're gonna have a restitution hearing. You're denying $1,500 worth of restitution, when according to you, did just a little bit of damage, and you're alleging that he did the rest of it. I was about to just order $1,500 restitution and $1508 and give you time to pay it. But are you denying that you did $1,500 worth of damage?
I did whatever about a foot long horizontal scratch on the door would cost. I don't know, a couple $100. I don't know what that would be, but that's all I did. I didn't even try to do the whole time.
All
I
right,
believe
well,
our
let's
plea
stop.
agreement was full restitution in the amount of $1,507.72 in
I don't
exchange.
even remember the plea. That's part of my brain, my head injury.
All
I
right,
don't
well,
remember
that
what was
was
going on during that and what
let's
was
hear.
said.
Full restitution, yes. All right, whether you did
I just
all of
said
it or
yes,
some
sir.
of it, you're gonna have to pay it. I've known Steve for a long time, since he was young. He mentioned Jane, that's his ex-wife, and I've known he came from a Mennonite family, and she's a Catholic family. And he did attend Catholic church with her. He's been a guy that's been around. He's done some construction work at my house when he was working for a company. And I've known him, and I don't really enjoy seeing him struggle with his mental health issues. Steve, do you have any source of income?
Not right now. It's awful. I get my little loans from my dad, or I just did a little job. It's right in town, Centerville there. You see it across from Shell.
You also have child support obligations, is that correct?
Yeah, they put a hold on it till I can start making some money, and my disability quit messing with me and not giving me disability. It's so ridiculous. I don't get it. I don't understand why, but
Well, I don't profess to understand the nuances of Social Security disability, but here's what I'm gonna do.
Mhm.
That's 750-377-A1B.
You know, I'd be happy to give them a couple $100, but
All right, well, here's what
think
we're gonna do. It was part of the deal, get the felony dismissed. I'm gonna do a 24-month non-reporting probation.
What does that mean?
Means I'm gonna do this for the purpose of collecting this restitution. Fine is zero, the attorney fee is zero. There's a $75 crime victims' rights fee and a $50 state minimum fee. That's the minimum I can order. And so 1508 in restitution to
Jeremy Blakely.
Jeremy Blakely. And the condition is pay restitution as ordered. I am aware of the fact that you don't presently have the ability to pay. That's why I did this. If you get a stimulus check or you win the lottery or you get a lump sum disability payment, you want to pay this off, I will discharge you. But you're already cooperating with CMH. I'm not going to order any other probation conditions, but since you are on a probation, I can amend or alter the conditions if it's needed. Are you still by your account and his account, everybody's getting along better, which is all for the best.
Getting along fine now. We aren't best buds, I won't say that, but we'll go talk in the morning or something.
Well, and that's all right, since you live in an adjoining duplex.
I knew we had to. Couldn't deal with it.
I think that's wise judgment. All right, the probation department is going to contact you, and we will try to worry about collecting this probation. I am going to order no alcohol and no controlled substances and cooperate with CMH. And I'll get you to sign a release. But we'll do no probation oversight fee. We'll simply put this on for collection of restitution. All right, Mr. Eichhorn, that completes this. I hope things get better for you and your family. But I'll remove you from the feed, and if you have any questions, the probation department will be contacting you.
All right. Well,
Thank you,
very
Your Honor.
much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sure.
Thank you, Christine. Do you have an 11?
Not with you, Your Honor. I do with friend of the court. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, let's bring Miss Bennett back. I set these at 10:30, hoping to get a head start, and I think that's working out all right. This is file 21777FY, People versus Monica Joy Bennett. Ms. Bennett is joining us from the Branch County Jail, where she's presently an inmate for several more months. Her attorney, Tim George, is here with us. She pled to domestic violence second offense after being charged with assault with a dangerous weapon. She is, as I mentioned, in the Branch County Jail. I don't know the exact amount of jail credit. This incident occurred April 14th, and she got arrested on April 15th. And she went to Branch County shortly thereafter. Perhaps Mr. George can enlighten us. Mr. George, what's the status here?
Thank you, Your Honor. I think that the plea agreement in this case was pretty consistent with my client's actions. I know the court has had the opportunity to review the police report and all supporting documents. I think one thing that is clear is that alcohol was a significant factor in what happened here. As the court's aware, my client was on a probation in Branch County for domestic violence at the time that this offense occurred. There was also a traffic ticket that was issued that she pled on the last time she was in front of Your Honor. And that based on those two incidents, her probation was revoked in Branch County. She was given the balance of a year in jail. And in speaking with her in the breakout room, she is set to get out on February 13th at midnight. So the one request that my client did have, and it is a bit unusual, but I did want to bring it to Your Honor, is there is a lot of flux in Branch County at this point. As the court may be aware, they're currently getting ready to transition into a new facility. So my client has requested if she would have the ability to serve the balance of her time in St. Joseph County. I'm not sure how the mechanism would work. If that would be the court having to sentence her to the exact same amount of time as she's getting in the Branch County case and have her here to serve that sentence. But that has been a consistent request from my client the entire case. So I leave that to Your Honor's discretion on how best to handle that. But obviously she's going to be in custody, for the next 6, 7, 8 months. So any discretionary fines and costs, we'd ask Your Honor to consider zeroing those out and only ordering the mandatory fees per the statute. Thank you.
Well, my intention was to give her 60 days jail credit, 60 days, and let her go finish her Branch County sentence. But we'll hear from Deborah, and then we'll hear from Ms. Bennett.
Well, Your Honor, we don't have a victim impact statement back from Mr. Scott, so I don't have any input from him. He hasn't responded to any of the things that were sent. The report's not terribly long, certainly a concern that she was on probation, but yet was drinking alcohol. And it sounds like he was maybe trying to get her to not drink anymore and not drive the vehicle. And then it resulted in this argument later on. So there's not much more punishment you could get at this point than just sitting in jail until February of 2022, which is not pleasant, I'm sure. I have no objection to her coming here to serve that. I guess I'm not privy to how that's decided, but I certainly have no objection to it. I don't think she's given our correction staff any trouble when she's been here. So I would leave that to the court's discretion. Thank you.
Monica, is there anything you want to tell me?
As of that, I would very much rather sit my time over in St. Joe County due to the fact that I have more options over there. I'm still mobile out in the outside world for work release, and I can do trustee also, but here they're not offering me anything to do as to keep my time busy.
Well, that was up to Judge Weigel. And I
Right.
tell people a lot. They don't screw around over in Branch County. You violate your probation, you get maxed. We don't do it
Right.
that way. I didn't do it. I wouldn't give you a year in jail for this. You got violated for your probation. I guess that's what Judge Weigel wanted. There was alcohol involved on both parties, and there was some, how to put this, intimate relationship issues that were underlying this, and it was just a big, ugly thing. And he got stabbed, but apparently not very seriously. But you were quite intoxicated. What I read in the report, and the prosecutor gave me a video that I had a hard time watching all of it because I couldn't get it all open. When I met you here from the jail, you seemed intelligent, articulate, no nonsense. You just tell me what happened. You accepted responsibility. You didn't beat around the bush. You seem like a nice lady, but I haven't met you really other than this kind of context. But what I'm reading in the report is somebody that's completely off the rails. And you got arrested on April 15th. That's 15 days in April, 31 in May, and 14 in June, which is 60 days jail, credit 60 days. Leaving 0 days to serve. I'm not sure what our sheriff would think about having you brought over here to serve. I wouldn't given you that much time.
Right.
So the 0 is fine. 0 probation oversight fee. I'm going to waive the attorney fee. There's no restitution. I have to order 75 and 50, which is 125 or 2 days, which may be served concurrent with the Branch County sentence. The sheriff may have different ideas about having you come to our jail. At the cost of $35 a day times 8 months is an expense of, I don't know, $6,000 to $8,000 that they may not wish to incur. And the other matter is it's Judge Weigel that dropped the anvil on your head. But you seem like such a nice person. I hope when you get out of here, you can not slide down the slippery slope and end up in the same pit. What's your relationship with Mr. Stewart?
Nothing anymore.
Maybe that's for the best. All right, Monica, that resolves your obligations here. Your 2 days will get swallowed up by the time you're already doing. And I wish I had a better option for you. But even if I was to put you here and put you on trustee and that sort of thing, wouldn't change your out date in Branch County.
That's not what I'm looking for. I'm just looking to be productive with my time.
I think you're honest about that. I wish I had a better answer. But our obligation here with you is completed. I wish you luck.
So I owe the courts nothing at this moment then, or how's this working?
$125 or 2 days, and your 2 days are going to get swallowed up by the Branch County time you're doing.
Okay.
I don't even know if I'm supposed to do that anymore, but that's what I did. So you're free to go.
All right. I appreciate you. Thank you very much,
All right.
Honor.
Good luck, Ms. Bennett.
All right. Tim, does that finish you?
Or 10:30, I have one at 11 o'clock, Your Honor.
Yeah, Barker. Somehow, Deborah, they let Sean Carson Moore out of the jail.
I heard that from Marissa this morning.
I'm not sure who was responsible for that, but we'll find out.
Well,
All
hopefully.
right, Tim, I'll
remembers.
just, you can just go back to work and I'll see you in a few minutes, okay?
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
I told him Friday that he had to be here today and I would deal with it. He had a bunch of things he wanted to tell me. I really hope he shows up because I don't want to have to chase him around, but he was living in his car. And I hope he comes. because he clearly knows about the hearing. So I got 10:52. I'll see you in 8 minutes, okay?
Sure, I'll just turn off my stuff and wait.
All right, thank you. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning.
Nice to see you in the virtual world.
Even if it's from the virtual world.
It's different than the material world. Which is different than material girl.
Thought you were going there.
Sorry. I've got the live feed on. I'm gonna turn the recorder on in a minute. Deborah's on standby and so is Tim. I'll turn the recorder on here. We'll see who shows up. I did a couple sentences at 10:30. One of them is a bit odd. I did a non-reporting probation with a couple of conditions on a guy to get some restitution paid, but he's got other issues.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they'll depot.
All right, we've got everybody but the jail.
Deputy Schrader, I'm help you.
Hello, Deputy Schrader, Judge Middleton calling. I don't know if anybody gave you guys a heads up. We need Daniel Obuchowski at 11.
Did not, but we'll get him down there as soon as we can.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. So we have Joshua Barker, who is not in custody, I don't believe, who's not here. We have Sean Moore, who was mistakenly released from the jail over the weekend. Trying to run that down. He's not here. Mr. Obuchowski is in custody, so we'll bring him in. I appreciate, Matt, your report in Barker, and Autumn, you and I had a chance to talk about Obuchowski, and I reviewed that pre-sentence again. You put a lot of work into that. I was very hopeful that Sean Moore would show up, so I don't have to issue a bench warrant for him. I'm not going to do a show cause. I told him live and in person on Friday, reminded him of this date, and I will have to hold for 48 hours though. Matt, there's a number for Mr. Barker or Tim, but somebody tried calling him, waking him up.
Sure.
Good morning, John.
Hello, Judge.
We're waiting for the defendant. We forgot to tell the jail we needed him. And your client may be the only one to appear this morning.
Is Sean Moore hooked up?
He's hooked up all right. They let him out of jail by mistake. We haven't run that down yet, but he was released. As you know, we talked to him on Friday and told him we were gonna finish this today, and I have a phone number. He was talking about everything was in his phone. He's busy.
No voicemail is set up for Mr. Barker's phone, it would appear.
All right. Thank you, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
I had some reservations about his appropriateness for probation, and this didn't do anything to reinforce it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we should have let the jail know what the deal was. I think they get the docket each day, and I'm not sure whether it's on us or on them. Good morning, sir. Are you
Morning.
Daniel Obachowski?
Yes, sir.
Your lawyer, Mr. John Bush, is here with us. Autumn Kiefer is here. She's prepared the screening report. And
All right.
Deborah Davis is here from the prosecutor's office. This is the time and date for sentencing in your case. We are live on YouTube. We are on the Zoom platform, and this is being recorded. I got your correspondence and had a chance to look at everything. There are some things that concern me here. Mr. Bush, what would you like me to know?
Well, I talked to Daniel this morning. I think he's ready to be focused on making the lifestyle changes. We discussed he's 31 years of age. It's kind of a cliche, but he's getting too old for this. He recognizes it's affecting his life, his employment, his family, his ability to be a father. He's hopeful that he can get into the program in Kalamazoo. I went over what he needs to do. He's got the bench warrants he needs to take care of in Miami County, Indiana, and to take care of the matters in Saginaw County and in Michigan. I would ask the court to implement the recommendation, give him the opportunity to take care of services. It appears that there is significant substance abuse issues, and let's give it a shot and see if we can make some changes in his life.
Thank you. Deborah, you got any input here?
Well, I asked the jail about the incident in the KPS room where he's accused of ripping the sprinkler head off when he was detoxing, when he was at 0.263. That's a pretty significant blood alcohol. I imagine he was pretty uncomfortable in the jail, and he was pretty rude to the staff, which I guess is understandable under the circumstances. I didn't get an amount from them. I think that Captain Buckner is just going to simply add it onto his books. So as far as a restitution, I would just ask that we reserve that in the event that they have some trouble collecting. With his history and his age, certainly if he does the sobriety court program and benefits from it and completes it, it will be better for all of us in the long run, keeping him from falling down that dark hole of addiction. So I support that if that's something he's able to do. And I would leave the rest of the sentencing considerations to Your Honor. Thank you.
Autumn, I know you put a lot of work into this recommendation. And you and I had a chance to discuss it, and I discussed my reservations about it, not the least of which the defendant has 3 warrants for his arrest in other jurisdictions. Anything else you wish to add to your report?
I don't have much to add, Your Honor. I do have the reservations for probation, as we discussed last week. And I also discussed with Mr. Obachowski. He's still on probation in Indiana. When I asked him, he didn't think he was. So I'm like, no, you're on probation. You have outstanding warrants that have been out for years. So right there, it makes him ineligible at this point for any sobriety court kind of program. And he is fully aware of that. I expressed my concern again with the fact that right now he's living in South Bend. He's talked about living in Kalamazoo, but that's not a done deal. That's not a sure thing. So I leave all sentencing up to Your Honor. I did the legwork. I'm willing to have him on probation if he's going to do it, but sink or swim, that's on him.
All right, finally, Mr. Obachowski, you get the last word on your sentence. What would you like me to know?
Well, I know that drinking is a major problem in my life. Like at first when I came in, I was like, well, maybe I can work a way around. I was still thinking about drinking, but I'm looking at some of the guys around me. I'm not like these guys. I don't want to be like these guys. I'm sure you see it. You see guys coming in and out of here. Sometimes they'll be out for 2 weeks and they'll come right back. I don't want to be like that. You know, I want to get everything straightened up. You know, I want to get the help that I need. I'm admitted to my problem, and I'm ready to take action and get this over with. And I don't want to be looking over my shoulder like me and Autumn were talking about these warrants. She advised that's like best thing, first thing, priority, take care of these. And I agreed with her. You know, I don't want to be looking over my shoulder for the next couple years, you know, again.
That's wise. All right. Well, this is a third conviction. There were a couple other arrests which didn't result in conviction, but this is a third OUIL, which makes it a felony. You were very intoxicated with a very high blood alcohol level, and they had to call the ambulance because you were so intoxicated. You were a giant pain in the neck for the arresting officers, and you damaged property at the jail. Autumn and I were trying to figure out how to get the camel through the eye of the needle to get you into a sobriety court program, but I don't think it's possible. You live in South Bend. You have some vague idea of moving to Kalamazoo. I don't really want to give you to Kalamazoo on my dime. We have a very good working relationship with the Kalamazoo County Sobriety Court. We trade clients back and forth. Occasionally there are Kalamazoo people, 3 Rivers or Sturgis people that get arrested in Kalamazoo. They enter our program. We get people from Kalamazoo County that get arrested. We put them in their program. And we've had a very good relationship with the judges and the probation staff. And I'm not willing to stick my neck out in this case because you don't live there and you don't live here. And I don't know you. In addition, you've got an outstanding warrant for your charge in Indiana, which was originally OUIL, endangering a person, and resulted in Indiana's version of drunk driving. And it's been out from Miami County with a $6,000 10% bond, except they won't extradite you. They might, now that we're going to be done with you. You've also got 2 warrants from Saginaw. One's way back from 2008, Oh, they're both from 2008. Some old business you never took care of. So, as Autumn says, if you have an open warrant for your arrest, even if we could finagle some sort of residency thing, which would be easy, we couldn't do it. You have 38 days credit. I'm going to order 70 days credit, 38 days, which is 32 days to do, give or take, good time. The fine is $0. There's a $75 crime victims' rights fee, a $50 state minimum fee, and a $150 fine, which is $275. I'm even waiving the screening fee, although Lord knows Autumn put a lot of effort into it, because you're not going to have the ability to pay this. I'm going to make that due by October 1. You had this dream of going to Kalamazoo and running a youth program and trying to help the community, and that's a noble one. But you've been not dealing with these warrants for a number of years, and I can't put you on my program even if I wanted to. The biggest thing you need to do is go deal with Miami County, Indiana, and they may not just want to pat you on the head and say, thanks a lot. You may be looking at some jail time on that charge. Maybe they'll give you credit for the time I'm giving you, and you can kill two birds with one stone.
Yep, that's what me and Autumn discussed too. That's probably the first thing I should take care of.
Yes. All right. I thought about 180. I thought about 90. I thought about 60. It came to 70. There'll be some good time calculated in there. You're going to be in our jail for a while longer, and then you're going to owe me $275. I reserve on restitution to the jail all right. Anything further we need to do, Autumn?
No, that's it. Thank you.
All right.
So,
All right. You're good to go. 70 days.
so what's the final on there?
70
70
days.
days.
38 days leaves 32 days to do minus good time. Be about 3 weeks.
Okay. All right.
Could I ask you to send me the corrections officer?
Yes, sir.
Good luck, Daniel.
Yep, thank you.
Now, let's see if this is Sean.
Should be Joshua Barker.
Oh, Mr. Barker is coming in.
Yes, sir.
Thanks. I just want to confirm that Sean Moore is not there anymore.
Yeah, they let him out this weekend.
All right. Well, he's not here now either. All right. Just want to make sure I got my facts straight. Thanks for your help.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'll remove the room. All right. Mr. Joshua Barker is here about 20 minutes late, 15 minutes late. But he's here, so that's something. John, I think that completes. Oh, let's make a record on Sean Moore. We'll free up Mr. Bush, and then we'll do Mr. Barker. He's late to the party, so he can wait for us. This is file 21981FY. People versus Sean Carson Moore was set for sentencing on a charge of use of methamphetamine today. As we all just heard on the record, apparently the jail mistakenly released him this weekend. I'm glad it wasn't something more serious than this. I tried to call, let's try one more time. that phone's been in the jail custody for 35 days. It probably doesn't even work. I didn't know which day, but this weekend we'll put.
Your Honor, according to the jail program, he was released just after midnight on the 13th, like 12:09 a.m. on the 13th, and it said time served. So I'm not.
That was up to me, not up to them. Anyway,
I
all
sent
right.
you the number that he had on his jail booking, just in case it was a different number than what.
Does that an 8953?
Yes.
That's the number I have for him now.
Okay.
Well, anyway, he knows he was supposed to be here this morning. We talked about it.
I sent him a letter on May 25th to the jail telling him of his court date.
Well, and we talked about it on Friday. He very much wanted to get out of jail, and I said I would see you on Monday and we'll talk about it.
What did he have on Friday?
He had an attorney pretrial on another charge, I think, which was resolved.
Okay, that's fine.
And Judge Pattison had some PPO issues with him, and so I'm going to do a bench warrant, no bond, see judge. He has 48 hours. If you can find him where he contacts us. But he knew clear and well that he was supposed to be here this morning at 11 o'clock. And by some quirk, he got out. Hope they don't let some of the other people we got in there out by mistake. Anyway, John, if you hear from him, contact us and we'll get the case back on track, but we can't do anything without him. So you're good to go.
I'll try that same phone number that the court used. That's all I've got.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll remove John. And Mr. Barker, let me get the name. Glad you're here. Did somebody call you, Josh?
You guys called and I was wondering whose number it was. I kept trying to call back. And then as soon as I got back to my place, I called the courthouse and made sure, because I thought it was at 1 o'clock for some reason.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're here. I tried to call you myself, and yeah, it was set for 11. It was always set for 11. And this is file 202794, People versus Joshua Ryan Barker. Mr. Barker was charged with possession of methamphetamine, and the matter was reduced to use of methamphetamine, and that matter is set for sentencing today. Defendant has a previous methamphetamine charge from the circuit court and another felony. He has 2 prior felonies and another circuit court methamphetamine charge where he got a total of 4 days jail and 18 months probation. Then he had a traffic matter. Mr. Matthew Huff is here with us and has prepared a thoughtful and pretty lengthy pre-sentence report. Thank you, Matt. Mr. George, what would you like me to know?
Well, Your Honor, I'll start on that point. I completely agree. In reading Mr. Huff's report, I think it's detailed, gives the court a nice idea of what's going on here. And I think what it does detail is my client's issues, not only his, but some family issues with methamphetamine. My client did have a prior possession of meth in 2015. This was obviously reduced to a use. My client, I think, expressed wishes to the probation department to be given the opportunity to complete a probation. My understanding is that some of the services that he was engaged in before, he's not currently engaged in. So I think this would give him the ability to get back plugged into those services and try to, address these issues, hopefully once and for all. My client is currently working, and I do think that the recommendation is appropriate. Obviously, there's a pretty significant hammer. The recommendation calls for 180 days of suspended jail time. My client is expressing wishes to go on probation to try to address these issues, and the court has the ability, if the probation is not successful, to implement that suspended jail time. So, I do think that there's a nice balance of a carrot and a stick there. My client has expressed that wish, so we would simply ask that the court adopt the recommendation and give my client the ability to move forward and hopefully successfully complete the probation, because the report does indicate that my client has been on 3 previous probations and has successfully completed 2 of them. So I know that there is a bit of a positive track record there, and I think that my client does have the ability to successfully complete what the court is asking him to do here. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Davis, what's your thought here?
Well, I certainly appreciate the report from Mr. Huff. It is very detailed. It goes into the history, which I think kind of explains some of Mr. Barker's issues, genetic predispositions to addiction issues, not uncommon. His lack of relationship with his children is very sad and troubling. But when you look at the length of time that he's had these issues, the start date of his alcohol use at a very young age, start date of drug use at a very young age, and the number of years that's kind of gone on, he doesn't have an extensive criminal history, but the meth charge back in 2015, it seems that he didn't get enough help probably at that point, and he slid by with his addictions until he was stopped by the police in this instance. He was given I think, fairly generous offer by our office, and I was the one that gave that offer, so I'm not throwing stones or anything, but it was based on the fact that he was cooperative and honest with the officer. He had what I would say is a personal use amount of meth on him, but we typically don't give a use when you have more than residue and you have a prior. So,
well, bear in mind, he was also driving a car. The officer felt he was under the influence of methamphetamine. He was OUID, and they let him slide on that. There was no charge for the driving component to this.
Correct. There was no investigation into that as far as being able to prove that he was under the influence to the point where we could convict. However, this is his chance, and I'm hoping that giving him this option to show that he can stay clean and sober and be productive, hopefully repair his relationship with his children. This is it. He's 40 years old, and if it comes back in front of us again as a meth charge, there's not going to be a generous offer. So I'd ask the court to follow the recommendation of the probation agent. Thank you.
All right. Matt, anything you wish to expand on that?
Not anything that doesn't that hasn't already been talked on in the report, Your Honor.
Mr. Barker, if we gave you a test today, what would it show?
It show that I was positive.
For meth?
Yes.
Anything else?
Marijuana, but that's it.
All right, I appreciate your candor. Why did you get 30 days in jail in Branch County for refusing to obey a traffic device? That's a civil infraction.
I don't understand that, because I didn't get 30 days in jail for that. The only time I've got jail time in Branch County was when I got that prior meth charge, which they knocked that down to attempt to possess. And I did like 6 months, and then they sent me to the probation center for 4 months. And then I was on probation or parole or whatever for the 18 months.
Okay. Well, we haven't done very good. You got arrested last October. Here it is June of the following year. You got arrested in December. The officer let you go. It didn't arrest you for OID. You got arrested in March, and here we are now, and we haven't done anything to accomplish anything regarding your methamphetamine addiction.
Your Honor, may I amend my suggestions after hearing that?
Yes.
It would appear that perhaps a forced period of sobriety before starting probation would be appropriate in this manner to give him the necessary structure to stay clean. So I would ask the court consider giving him 30 days in jail up front, suspending the remainder.
Well, that was my thought. Joshua, do you want to do 30 days in jail or 30 days in jail and a probation?
I'd rather do 30 days, I guess, in jail. But just so you know, right now I am going to Pines Mental Behavioral and Coldwater. I just started doing counseling. I just seen the psychiatrist. He just put me on Seroquel.
All right, that's all good news. You can do that when you get out of jail. You don't really want to do probation. You just don't want to go to jail. So I offered you 30 days and probation, or just 30 days, and you'd rather just do the 30 days. I thought about 90. 31 days, credit 1, leaving 30 days to serve. 0 are deferred. You got to turn yourself in at our jail tonight at 7 o'clock. If you were here, you couldn't even log in on time. I appreciate your candor. It saved us all the effort of getting you over here and testing you. We've been negligent during the whole COVID period. We stopped doing a lot of testing, and we're doing very little for people. I'm just going to put you in jail, give you 30 days sobriety, and then you can decide whether you want to continue with this stuff or not. 7 p.m. tonight, June 14th, 21. I no longer have to suspend your license. There's a $100 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, a $50 state minimum fee, and a $150 attorney fee. I believe that's $375. That's due by October 31st.
Your Honor.
You're going to go to jail, and then you got to decide whether you want to continue treatment or not. Yes?
Would you put him on a 30-day non-reporting probation in case he fails to show up at 7 p.m. tonight?
Yes. If you don't show up at 7 p.m. tonight, I can amend the sentence up to 365 days.
Your Honor, can I come in tomorrow and serve my time so I can get myself around?
You can come in tonight at 7 o'clock, or you can come in tomorrow and I'll give you 60 days if you'd like that better, or 90. It's time for you to get detoxed. I don't want you to go out and get high tonight while you're waiting to come to jail tomorrow. You can come there tonight. All right, you're good to go. If you don't show up, then it'll be substantially worse. So please come and bite the bullet and start 30 days of forced non-drug use. You also weren't supposed to be using marijuana as a condition of your probation, although marijuana is of your bond, although marijuana is no longer illegal. So you're just on your own path. I'll give you some jail, and then you can get back on your path and decide what you want to do with the rest of your life. But I don't think I can fix it from here. All right, 7 p.m. tonight. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Your Honor.
Anything else we need to do?
I don't think so. We had spoken about a potential probation violation, but it sounds like that's not going to happen today.
On Haysma?
Yeah.
Well, he's on my docket for 1.
Oh, okay.
I'll arraign him, but Jordan's not available this afternoon. I don't know. You guys were here. I told him to turn himself in. I believe he was right here in Centerville in his trailer. He told me he was in Indiana. I looked on mobile patrol and he was in custody on Friday night. So I don't know if he turned himself in or got picked up for something. I think he turned himself in.
I'd like to know the answer to that as well, because he indicated that he had something that was really important and needed to be taken care of on Saturday and that he would turn himself in afterwards. So
Well, maybe he did. All right, thank you all. I will see none of you this afternoon for landlord tenant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you, Your
Thank you.
Honor.
thanks, you too.